What's up, guys? Don't worry, Storm. I'll mod you today. Let's see, how do I do this? There we go. What's up, guys? This is totally winging this one. I've built one of these EK kits before, but it's been a couple months, and yeah, we're just gonna figure it out. I figured I'm just gonna start streaming more and not really care about whether or not it's a perfect. Where's the cameras? All right, there we go. I'll talk to this camera. I'm just gonna go for it and kind of like an in real life kind of thing. Like we're all hanging out and we're figuring this out. Let's see. Someone on Instagram made the recommendation to try the white Red Bull, and I'm so glad I tried it. It's coconut berry, and dang, it is good. I canceled the espresso and got the energy drink. All right, let's see. I'm gonna start by saying this is a 500 milliliter bottle. I have it at like 460 ml, and I'm gonna double check when I open this, but I remember I had it pretty full last time I did the premix. And honestly, I like the black hose. This is gonna be on the test bench, but eventually I'm moving all this into the Define R6. I'm gonna retire the Ryzen build. Yeah, I don't know. I keep getting i9s though, so if I keep getting i9s to delit, it might have to stay on the test bench. We'll see. Oh shoot, I forgot to open up my Jumbo chat. That way I don't need to have to keep coming back to the monitor. This is totally last minute. I was thinking about it all day whether or not I'm gonna do the stream or not. And then I thought, no, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. But then I figured that makes for the best kind of stream, if I don't know what I'm doing and I jump in and do it. Come on, where's my chat go? Trying to pop it out. Pop out chat. There we go. This is the only time I use Edge, guys, is that I just leave it set to like 200% and then I could see it from really far. Alright, chat. Storm, Nick, Josh is in here. Sweet. Josh, is it streaming okay? I know you guys in Australia's internet's kind of hit and miss. Okay. Low latency. Alright, so there must be a delay. What is it? What is it that you guys are noticing? Okay, cool. Alright, so we're gonna unbox this thing. This is this is the EK pre-made kits. This isn't the aluminum one. This is the one that has like everything copper, just like you normally would. I think like the block, it's kind of more like, it's not like their super premium one, but it's, you know, when you compare the blocks, it's usually very close. The last time I did one of these was in December. Where'd my knife go? And I was really impressed by how complete the kit was. And I was even more impressed by how they got everything to fit into this box. Let's see. Okay, if I put it down here, it'll kind of show. Maybe I'll lower this camera so you guys can see that. Yeah, that's good. Cool. I'm not chopped off. So this is a 360mm kit. The main reason, guys, is that I felt like the 280mm was starting to get bottlenecked by the 12 core. And then right now I actually have, just gonna break the box. I have a 14 core in the house. We're gonna be doing the delit on a 7940X and a 7980XE. So I figured it's time to step it up. Hey guys, so what was up? I think there was some news on the 2990X or something. So we have the reservoir. It's the pump res combo, I guess. We have a fan splitter for the fans. Looks like we have a SATA, just like the 12 volt connector. We have the power supply jumper. Actually, I'm gonna get the test bench off the table for now. It's the X299 Dark for those that may not know, and my old GTX 770. That one's been hardware volt modded. So we got the power supply jumper. That way you can turn on your power supply with it being disconnected. We got a SATA to fan header for direct power. So probably like your pump. 3-to-1 PWM splitter. I have 2 quick disconnects, which I'm probably gonna put those on the block. We got fittings. These are compression fittings. Technically though, for my test benches, I usually like having barbs. So instead of the compression, you would slide it over and then just use like a hose clamp, kind of like on a car. Yeah, I saw it was something like 1,500 pounds, and I'm like, whoa, that, I don't know what the current exchange rate is, but I was like, dude, that's like really cheap for 32 cores. So here's the EK black hose. Like the last time I did a custom loop was in my Sandy Bridge, and I used black hose, but it was more of a glossy black. So this doesn't bother me. I don't know how old this kit is, but the rubber kind of, I don't know. It looks a little shimmery. Kind of weird. We got the EK premix. The stuff was sitting in my garage, and it's like it was like 110 today in Vegas. In the garage, it'll be in the 90s. I'm like, that feels kind of warm still. And it's like 11 or something, almost 12. I forgot what this is for. I think this is for the plugs. Not sure. Dang, so less than 2,000. I was expecting the 32 core to come in at 25 to 3,000, so that's like crazy. I don't know how Intel's gonna fire back, honestly, because man, $2,000. That's the 7980XE. That thing, the 7980XE stock, well, at 3.6 gigahertz, it'll do like 3,500 CB in Cinebench. And you figure 32 cores, the leaked benchmark's at about 7,000. I could totally like picture. What the heck is that? There's like a liquid on the table, and the only thing that was there was the test bench. I didn't. Alright, so anyways. That's weird. Oh, what? What the heck is going on here? Oh. I think some of the premix might have, like, leaked the hair inside the box. Don't mind me while I clean my hose, guys. Oh man, wait until I get halfway into it. That's when you'll know I'm drunk on Red Bull, because I'll start getting a little silly. It'll remind me of my youth. I think I'm kind of boring nowadays. But when I was younger, I wasn't the life of a party, but I had fun. I would have fun. So let's see what else we have here. We have the Uniblock. Yeah, it's the copper plexi, the Supremacy MX, the Uni. I believe that's probably just universal. We have a pump mount bracket, which I'll probably use this. Let's see. Yeah, you guys can see the bracket. So I haven't figured out how I'm gonna really set this up. It's really just for test bench right now, so I'll probably have the pump sit on this, on the table, and then with the quick disconnects, I'll have it go onto the block, and just set everything up. Just slide it on the table and everything. I'll probably have the radiator something like this, and then the pump off to the side, and then have this sub-assembly go into the block with quick disconnect, so it's easy to kind of disconnect them and everything. This is the hardware for the pump mount. Yeah. And instructions. Nobody needs that. That's everything. Cool. Yeah, Nick, honestly, dude, but it won't have a, so what block are you looking for? The 970s, or? You know what you could do, man? And it's like kind of, like, not a lot of people do it, but you could get the EK Universal GPU block. I have one because I used to upgrade GPUs a lot. It'll mount to AMD or NVIDIA. Alright, and you don't get the cooling on the VRMs, but the water temperature is now all of a sudden less responsible for other stuff too. Meaning, you know, the water's not getting heated by the VRM. Just put heat sinks on the VRMs and make sure there's airflow, and you're good. Oh yeah, Nick's trying to get a 980, I think, right? No, I think Nick was trying to get a 980 Ti. No, it was the 980 for 200 or something. Man, this one's so good. The coconut smooth and the berries kind of tangy. Oh man, I could down that right now. If I down it, this will be the shortest stream ever because I'll probably finish this loop in like 30 minutes. Oh, dude, did you guys see the Timmy? Oh man, what's his name? Timmy Joe or Timmy Tech or something on YouTube. He did a stream bashing Jay. Let me see. Let's see. What is the channel name? Timmy Joe PC. He did an XSPC loop, and he was kind of bashing Jay's. Yeah, Timmy Tech. He was bashing Jay's method, whatever. I can't talk right now. He was bashing Jay's method, and on his D15 versus custom loop, and it was a sponsored video too. It was his first sponsored video. It was kind of, I wouldn't have bashed a A-list YouTuber on a sponsored video, especially. So he shows how his 2700X on a D15, he was inside a case. That was his thing. Like, well, dude, nobody's gonna run a test bench. Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's just a tongue twisted word right now. I can't say it right now. But he was bashing how, you know, the process, and he was like, well, my 2700X, it's on a D15. I'm gonna switch to this XSPC loop, and I'll show you guys how much better it is. And he was just bashing Jay, and then it turns out it was only like, I don't know, 5C lower. It wasn't a huge drop. Then the worst part about it, today he did a video about how that loop failed. The pump seized. He had to take it apart, He was able to lubricate the pump and it started working again, but I was happy to see he ate his humble pie. I get where he was coming from because Jay kind of comes off as like, he does kind of come off a little like it's my way or the highway, but the 2 times I've met Jay, he's been super cool. So kind of like Science Studio, he seems kind of harsh in his videos, but in person he's such a friendly guy. So I'm like, oh, maybe just the way they communicate, I don't know. I'm totally not feeling like doing this right now, but I have to. I gotta get the gloves on. I'm touching parts with my bare hands. It's not right. I'm just kidding. He does, man, sometimes, but I think it's just he's assertive. He's assertive because if you approach him, he's very cool. Like I did the fan meetup most recently that they had in Vegas when they were doing the filming, the last Man vs. Build. And yeah, I just talked to him and he seemed super cool, super chill. And so it made me think like, you know, these guys probably just, you know, I don't know, it's the camera maybe. So I should get some 90s. Let me bring in some fittings. Be right back. I hope I have enough here. Actually, I'm borrowing from the BIMbox inventory, so I'll have to write down how many I use, and that way I could bill, you know, pay for those. Yeah, but in person, he's also super friendly. Alright. I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna start with the block. I was gonna try to build. I was gonna try to do the pump and everything first, but I'm gonna start with the block. This is the little stuff I don't need right now. Let's see how cool this radiator looks. It's a 360, but the box makes it seem like it's bigger than that. But guys, let's keep the chat kind of clean. I know there's no children up at this time except for Josh, but I'm just kidding. I know there's no children up at this time, but you know, if it gets archived, I kind of want my stuff to be like kid friendly. There's plenty of people out there with more liberal speech. All right, there we go, guys. Now we can get this video started after I have my Red Bull. Alright, let's get the test bench back on here after all. Man, it is hot. 79. Turn on this fan. I'm gonna make space. This is one of those moments where this space feels really small all of a sudden. Like, I need a bigger desk, but we'll make it work. I'm gonna take off the standoffs for the all-in-one. And then I'm gonna just loosely place the block on here. Um, Currently there's a 7920X bolted on here, one of the bin box ones. I'm just getting the binning on that one so that when I do the build, I'll have that all dialed in. Alright. What's pretty cool is the whole affiliated thing. I didn't realize the affiliated program kicked in so quickly. So I need to respond to that before Twitch changes their mind. And they realize, wait, this guy's not cool. We accidentally sent it to you, sorry. So, oh man, they got the AMD bracket in here. That looks like it might be AM4 compatible because the holes are, it's like an oval. Alright. You guys are crazy. I am curious what thermal paste EK uses. Like I've never tested that before. So how do I want you to sit? Well, if it's for the test bench, in all honesty, I'm gonna have it sit. See, I don't think you guys can see. Don't want this to fall off. So I think I'm gonna have this go on like this. So let's see what hardware I need. All these back plates are probably for like AM4 and 1151. This is radiator stuff. Did I throw the directions back in there? I didn't see directions. Was it just in the big book? Okay, maybe I do need those directions. I think what helped me get the status of affiliate was I got rated with like 40 viewers earlier in the week, but I think you only need like 3 viewers at the same time. So here's the block. Okay. 2011. That is me. Okay, cool. 2011 always has the easiest mounting setup. Just gonna throw this stuff on here. Let's see, do I have an empty one? I do. Yes. Okay. Okay. The 2011 screws are usually always the shortest threaded part. Like you can see this one's kind of short, and then these are longer. So I'm gonna like just guess right off the bat these are it. And yes, that looks correct. Cool. So this will thread into the motherboard. One thing I also have is the direct die kit from Der Bauer, so that's something I'm gonna experiment with. After I get the client D-lids done, I want to experiment with that on my personal 7920X. Ironically, the Bimbox 7920X is the same exact batch as the one I have, and it seems to like literally overclock the same exact voltage per clock that mine did. So I'm just kind of mocking this up. So we're gonna leave that. I'm not gonna like put any tools on that. And technically the flow plate, I don't know if on this block because it's you know, the universal one, but usually there's like a preferred way to align the plates up in there. At least they used to. They used to have like if you're on 1155, you use this one, and if you're on like, man, what was it, 1366 or something, you'd use a different one. The jet plate or whatever they call it. Alright, so that's simple. Just put the springs on, and then the screws. Okay, it's easy to thread on, not a big deal. Who's jamming? Alright, man, I'll see you later, Nick. Nick's out of high school, isn't he? I think he just has like work or something. Yeah, man. I love the dark. I just wish it had more memory slots, but whatever. So let's see. At this point, now it'll be the easy stuff, or I don't think I'll need the manual. Yeah, it just goes on through like AMD stuff. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna mount the pump to the bracket so that it can sit on its own on the table and not fall over. Hey Storm, so how's like the Rocket League coming along, dude? You need to get on a pro team so like they fly you to the US and then well, I don't know if they have the championships in different countries. Let's see. This looks like it could be the hardware for that. That's radiator hardware. This is the one I was looking for. This for sure is mounting hardware. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna use this one for the pump to bracket, and this would, I presume, be the actual bracket to like whatever you wanted to bolt it onto. Oh, so they're changing it up. That's cool. Man, so I got really lucky that the first one was in LA. That was when I did that little Manta mod, the Manta Mobile. Made it look like a Rocket League car. That was like super fun. I think what I heard that the owner of NZXT had that after they used it there, he put it in his office. So I don't know if that was still the case, but Johnny, I think that's what I heard. It was kind of fun doing projects with NZXT, but once they did their BLD department, I kind of, you know, I don't think they really needed my services anymore. But man, guys, like sponsored builds or, you know, stuff like that, like, it's so funny, like deadlines like change, and man, it's just pure like hectic, like it's always hectic. Or it's like, hey, this company, they're hitting us up about this kind of build. I guess I could say it now. I won't say the company's names, but there was a company that wanted computers to serve Red Bull and vodka, and I had to like figure it all out, how to dispense it and everything. And Anna had to come up with the quote really fast just to find out, like, yeah, we're scrapping the project. The event's already over budget. And I'm like, dude, for real? I'm gonna start charging you guys for these quotes. So let's see, guys. Let's do some brainstorming. This will be on my bench. I was thinking like I could have it like this, and then I have the 90. So, but then I don't know. How would you guys go about it? Would you do the radiator? Just mount the pump to the radiator, or should I? Because originally I was thinking like I'll have the radiator like this, and then I'll have the pump like over here somewhere. And man, the camera angles I know are gonna suck. So here, we'll do it this way. I was thinking like, all right, the pump will go straight into the radiator, and then we'll go to the block and then back down, and just kind of have it like with quick disconnects right here. So I could just take this off and reconnect it whenever I need it. But instead of here, it would actually be more like right here. So that was plan A, but I'm just kind of reconsidering that. Yeah, I feel like you lose like that 120 mil or whatever, because like the airflow is impeded. But yeah, for the sake of this stream, I think maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just kind of, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So literally, the radiator will be right here. I'm gonna have the pump off right over here to the side, and then I'm gonna have I'm gonna have the inlet to the pump be off of the block, and then so the pressure is gonna be going from the pump to the radiator, and then out of the radiator to the block, and then from the block back to the pump. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, that'll be clean. Alright, let's get some fittings on. Yeah, I agree, guys. You guys are right. I'm totally gonna do that. It kind of bugs me too, having it mounted, because it's gonna restrict airflow no matter what. And then the fans, since it's my test bench, I'm just gonna go straight into the power supply. Variable fan speed, when you're trying to compare delid versus not delid or whatever, that's not gonna be good. So fans will go straight in. I mean, I'll probably do the pump straight into the power supply too. Like, I want everything to be 100%. So oh wait, it was, oh, I think this was actually to tighten the fitting. That's what that was for. What are your thoughts, guys, on like flushing radiators? Because I think Noctua, I think EK says you don't need to. I don't remember, but I know like some guys preach about flushing radiators. I haven't been into custom water cooling. Like, it used to be a religion to me, but I haven't done that in a long time. We're gonna get a 90. I'm gonna shift one of the cameras. I think that'll be better. Oh, I didn't even stop the autofocus. So if it's bugging you guys, let me know. I could actually, I'm gonna do that real quick. That shows you how like impromptu this stream was. Whoa. We're just gonna stop the autofocus. This is like my worst stream ever. But I got the cool people in, so it's all good. You know, guys, the thing that I've always fought was I'm not streaming because it's not a perfect situation. The stars and the sun and the moon didn't align properly, so then I never end up streaming. So now it's like I'm just gonna do it, and if there's weird stuff that happens along the way, like I gotta turn off autofocus midstream. Screw it. At least we're streaming. Yep. So, all right, guys. Here's where we're at so far. You guys can barely see it. We got the straight fitting, and it's gonna go straight into the pump. And then we're gonna put 90s on the pump and the radiator to go straight into the block. And man, should I do? No, I'm not gonna do 9. I could do 45s off of the block. But man, the Red Bull is actually making me want to burp a lot. I better have more. That should fix the problem. Oh man, that's so good. The coconut and the berry taste is so much better than I could have thought. Alright, so now we have to screw in the compression fitting to the 90. Dude, I honestly don't like the plexi. So no, I'll never get a wet bench. Maybe, I mean, I'm not knocking it, I just can't see myself spending money on that. Cause this Lian Li bench, I absolutely love it. Guys, this blue tool cart has been with me for years. It's been with me through the Mercedes-Benz days. And the little cool fact about it is that this calendar date, does it show up? You guys can barely see it, but it's over here. It's 2007, July 2007. That was the last month I worked at Mercedes-Benz. I thought I missed Mercedes, so I think it was sometime in 2014. I went back and I left after a month. I'm like, nope, same experience. Reminded me why I left, and now I'll never have the regret of leaving because I gave it one more shot and hated it still. I love the cars, I just hated the dealership experience because the dealerships are crooks. They are, to their techs, they treat their technicians like garbage. That's why there's high turnover rates at dealerships. And I think Europe, dealers are actually hourly, but not in America. I think if they went to an hourly system, it'd be a lot better, but I don't know. They would never give techs enough money for hourly work. They'd try to pay them all $20 an hour, and that's not enough. Storm, what cars do you want to work on, man? Let's see. With water cooling, I'm always like, I'm not trying to rush at all. Let me just double check these. There we go, see those one. So let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's get that hose out. I'm just gonna find the black hose and where did I leave it? Oh, here we go. So right now I could do this kind of thing. How close do I want you to? So diesel mechanics do really well, except it's, at least in America, they do pretty good. But it's a dirty, dirty, dirty job. Trust me. If you love getting dirty, then okay, be a diesel mechanic. So let's see. Man, honestly, you probably don't even need the compression fitting part because this is so tight. Yeah, we'll do it like this. That'll work. Oh man. Hold on, guys. I have some scissors I could use for this. In America, you couldn't be so selective as being an auto electrician. It's kind of like usually bumper to bumper. Domestics like Ford, Chevy, they'll let you do like, all right, you're the transmission tech, you're the engine tech. There might be an interior electrical guy, but that's usually not how the European markets work. I don't know if in other countries how their new car dealerships work. Hold on, guys, I'm gonna go get a tool out of the garage. Oops, sorry, man. All this time I was talking. I'm so bad at that. What I was saying though was like, if you know of a technician, ask him how the industry is in Australia, and just to make sure it's not as bad as America, because that would suck. Like out here in America, UTI flooded the market, you know, and the other tech schools. So it's hard to get good pay. And it's honestly, it's a dead end job. So that's the other thing that sucks too, because like when you're 50, are you gonna want to be wrenching still? I say that, but I also say like it was really really fun. But I could tell you, man, it's tough on the body. If my kids wanted to be mechanics, I think I'd tell them like do it as a hobby. And I'd fully support it if they wanted to commit to it, but I would try to tell them like just keep it as a hobby. I don't, man. And I say that from someone that was in the industry, and my buddies are still in it, and now they're getting closer to 40, and they wish they could do something else. So I'm gonna cut it a little short because we're gonna add the quick disconnects. Once I add the quick disconnect in the middle, it should be a good length. But another thing I was saying though while I was muted was that said though, it was a ton of good memories, a ton of bad ones, but a ton of good ones. And yeah, I wouldn't have personally changed a thing, because when our economy crashed in 2007, I switched into the forklift industry, and it was like humble pie, because I felt like, man, when you tell people you're a Mercedes technician, and you know, people look at you like, oh wow, that's an achievement. When you tell someone you're a forklift mechanic, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. You work on dirty forklifts. So going into the forklift industry made me a little humble, but I learned so much about running a business in the forklift industry that I am so thankful, because I mean, that was kind of what gave me the ability to start my company. I had to manage my own inventory, deal with business owners, warehouse managers. Like, dude, when someone's forklift goes down and they need to move tons of product, they want you to fix it. They don't want to hear excuses. So it's a lot of problem solving on the customer service side and like the mechanical side. So actually, I would tell you, go to the auto industry and then transition into forklifts. But and you get a company vehicle with forklifts. You get to drive that home, which is fun. But that was actually the best thing, was when I started working on forklifts. So let's do quick disconnects. Let's do them right here. And because I'm OCD, I'm going to try to keep them close. But Storm, if you want to do it, man, do it, and know that you could pivot into other industries like warehouses. Going from an auto tech to a forklift mechanic or a maintenance mechanic or a diesel mechanic is so much easier after you've been in the auto industry. But no, man, just know this, that the unfortunate reality is that there's very little room to move up. That's the part that sucks. You know, you could be a service manager or something, but at the end of the day, those people that get promoted are usually friends. Okay, so it's just 2 different hose diameters. And I say this as like I care about you in the sense like I want to give you the best advices that I can give you. Otherwise I wouldn't be sharing potentially news you don't want to hear. Storm, I know what you should do. You should start a business building computers. There you go, man. Problem solved. Or you could just come work for me if I ever need to hire somebody. I'm sure sooner or later. Not I'm sure. I know we're gonna need to hire someone soon. Not like immediate, but there's a lot of things in the works that could blow up Bimbox and Remix Computer Solutions overnight. And the hard part is thinking like, where am I gonna find quality people? So that's the tricky part. It's something I brainstorm all the time about. And honestly, you know what industries I want to look for? I would be putting in positions, like I would be trying to hire mechanics actually. Automotive mechanics, forklift mechanics, because it's kind of like all the same skills. So technically the loop is physically done, we just need to tighten up fittings. I know I didn't really describe much of what I was doing, but yeah. 5,000 clients would, or is that 50,000? Would be awesome. Here's something that's actually really interesting though. I heard that Europe recently mandated that their architects submit 3D plans to the cities when they submit their designs, and apparently it's been 2D drawings this whole time. So there's like a lot of potential for new workstation sales in like European markets. So that's actually kind of cool. That's like open game, really. The fear I have is that, like, you know, how soon will everything go cloud compute and then all we need is a dummy local machine? I think we're still many years away because the internet sucks. But that's something I think about. So this is why I'm not a fan of compression fittings so much, because they're a little tricky sometimes. Like, I don't like putting tools on them, but sometimes I think you gotta just... Dang, this one, come on, hurry up. Trying to get the thread started on this one. There we go. I just like barbs. Like, I know everyone loves compression fittings because they look cooler, but I don't know. Now you guys will remember I have like no thermal paste on this thing. Oh, here's a loose one. Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle is just internet, because I know people have the money to invest in the servers, you know, like, but the internet is, I think, the biggest problem. You know what's funny, guys? Like, in automotive, the best cooling performance is just plain water. So, technically, I would say that it's probably the same for water loops, except you don't want stuff growing in it. And then automotive, actually, lubrication, you know, you want something in there to lubricate the bearings. So same, I'm sure, with the water pumps on computers. So here we go. So mixing ratio for best performance 1:9. Mix whole 100 milliliters with 900 milliliters of distilled water. So if this is 100 and this is we're at 20, 40, 60. So we got 460 in here. I'm gonna say like 50 milliliters will be cool. Oh, is that literally okay? See, you're too smart to go and be a technician. No, I'm just kidding. I always said the difference between a mechanic and a technician is that the technician can read schematics. So, gosh, this stuff looks yucky. When I transfer this to my my system, well, if I do, I'm gonna have to like get something else. How am I gonna get power? Okay, we have SATA here, so where's that adapter? So what do you guys, did you guys hear, it looks like PUBG dropped a lawsuit on Fortnite? The thing that's dangerous with like lawsuits like that, guys, too, is that if, let's say, PUBG won in court, what other game developers in the future would sue and would win because of the judgment, you know, that was done during the PUBG versus Fortnite one? Because I mean, it's like, dude, it's like Call of Duty and Battlefield have similar gameplays and like so many other games, and it's like, dude, really, it's like Apple patenting the side swipe to unlock. That's why Android can unlock in any direction, because Apple literally patented like unlocking sideways. It's like, we don't need that in the gaming world. You know what I mean? No, totally. And dude, with the amount of millions they were making, it's like, dude, really? So, we're off. We're gonna plug this in. Let's get this extension cord plugged in. It's funny because I'm like such a cable management freak that my office is so uncable managed. But that comes because things are always changing in here. I need to adapt, so it's kind of like, you know, can't always be super organized. Okay. Let's double check fittings real quick. Alright. to go. Yeah, I agree. That's why this thing, you know, I'll wind it back up, but I've been using the test bench more and more, so this is going straight into, this cord goes straight into my power conditioner. So that's why I have it rather than plugging into the wall that's closer. And this bottle, guys, it's from the RC industry, RC cars. I swear these are the best. Like, I wouldn't waste money on like a computer one. Oh, wait a minute. I have the actual, let's disconnect the computer. In case there is a leak. And then let's get the handy dandy jumper. I know the EK one had one, but I have the EVGA one that I'm going to use. We're powered off. Okay, I'm turning it on. There we go. That was fast. Why aren't you turning back on? Yeah, even my work setup is always changing, so I don't even have anything over here tethered. Okay, you should be turning on. What is going on? We have power. Is this jumper like tripping out? Let's try this again. There we go. Maybe that jumper is a little on the flimsy side. This was enough for a 360 the last time I did it, but I don't know. I might need to add more fluids. Alright, we're good. Yeah, it looks like it was just the it looks like it was the actual jumper. Thanks for hanging out, Storm. It's always fun to chat with someone in here. That's why Josh doesn't get mod status. He's not dedicated enough. I'm just kidding. So we're gonna try to just wiggle this around a little bit, get the air bubbles out. If you guys can, I don't know if it shows up on stream. It's a lot of little bubbles still. And one thing I want to show is that I can successfully do this, you know, without making a, you know, without being perfect. Like, you know, it's like I didn't have to rehearse this to go live. I'm just gonna go live and we'll learn together. I mean, I know like how to build loops, but It's not like I've built one of these like last week. I mean, my builds, I get those Sliger chassis done in an hour and 15 because I've done a few of them. My first one I think was like 2 hours. So shaving off 45 minutes is a lot, and that just comes from experience. So this was my first one in about 6 months. And now the second one will be faster, and so on and so forth. What's kind of cool is like I can move this around as I need to. And this is why I like the Lian Li setup, because what I may want to do is like mount the pump here. And then, you know, the radiator could be off to the side or whatever. It's very flexible. If I had there's a 240 millimeter, there's a 240 millimeter bracket that they sell. Well, it's like I could bolt it up there and configure things and stuff. But it's a test bench, so it's like I want things to be modular. That's why we got the quick disconnects. But it looks like we're good. I'm just gonna see if I could throw the rest in there. We'll leave some room in there. Don't want it filled to the brim, but hey Josh, I don't know if you were in there when I was dissing you that you're not a mod because you're not in here often enough. But you know, I'm just kidding. I'm just modding people that I'm personally cool with, and eventually I'll mod you, Josh. It's just you're rather young, so there's an age limit. Dude, Josh is... I would hire Josh, but I don't know. He destroys parts too, though. So that's the scary part. I don't know. Honestly, any one of you guys that's in that Instagram chat, I would probably hire, because we have good conversation in there, technical conversation, and it's like, yeah, and the passion is actually, I think, the most important thing is because you could teach people, but I want people to have that passion. So, looks like things are cool. I know, like, on the internet, people's like, oh, dude, you gotta do like a 24-hour leak down. In all honesty, you don't need to do 24 hours. Maybe like an hour. If it doesn't leak in an hour, it's kind of like that stress test. People say 24 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours. Oh, I just run Cinebench and play games. Well, okay, what if you did 24 hours? What if it fails on the 25th? What if I did a 24-hour leak test and it fails 3 days later? So what you really just want to know is, like, is anything loose? So, you know, I might move stuff around. You know, these fittings have pivots. These are the ones that scare me, are like the 90s or the 45s because of the swivel. That's why I intentionally didn't put any over here. So I'm just making sure, like, you know, things look cool. You know, I don't see any leaks. I'm gonna just disconnect the block while I'm at it. Because now that I got all the hose lengths done, we could take it off. Because one thing I want to see is that the seal between where the rubber seals are on the block, I just want to make sure those aren't leaking, because those would be the ones that wouldn't really be visible while it's installed. Oh, look at those bubbles. There's bubbles in there. good. Gosh, I love EK stuff. They've had their ups and downs and stuff with some of their like Predator kits, but I don't know. Oh man. But didn't Josh successfully get that 1080 RMA'd? Hey, what's up, Maestro83? Today was something a little different. We started off with the EK 360mm. Let's see, where's all the 360mm kit? And I'm just putting it on the test bench because we have two i9s to overclock. We have a 7940X and a 7980XE. AR. I don't know who the AR97 Gaming is. Yeah, that's what I hear. Josh can BS his way through any RMA, like those those Ryzen ones, and I don't know. You've had a few RMAs, Josh. It's basically the stock kit, but this isn't the aluminum one. This is their like all copper one. So it's a copper block and I believe the brass radiator. It's not that gamer one that's like aluminum blocks and stuff like that. This is their like legit one. And we use the quick disconnects because this is the test bench. So how these work, make sure the pump's off. We just disconnect them. There's just barely like a tiny little drop on it. And it'll allow me to be, it'll allow me to just be more flexible with this. So like if the block is still mounted, I could now remove the rest of the water cooling stuff. And then when you do these, you want to make sure that you have them in this kind of setup. You don't want two of these on the same one because, you know, you could, but now it's mindless. Like, you'll know for sure you have the flow path that you want because you can't, like, you know, there's only one way to put them in now. What was this? You went up to 1.7 volts on air? Dang. Devil Tex. I don't know. Does Devil Tex stream like hardware stuff or does he stream games? And if he's on Twitch, I'll have to check out his channel. I don't know that screen name, so maybe I know him or he's seen my work or something, but I like to see who else is on here and doing other hardware stuff. Storm, thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, I'll be ending it in a little bit. I'm just going to chat with you guys for a bit. I might figure out the fans and stuff tomorrow. What time is it? Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. See ya, Storm. And you never got to 4 gigahertz, huh? I mean, it took me 3 Ryzens to get a 4 gigahertz one. The 1700X, the 1700, both like 3.9 or 3.85 to 3.9. And then the 1800X finally did it. It's like 40, 50 megahertz at 1.415 or so volts. At 1.7 volts though, Josh, you're probably just, it's probably getting way too hot. My 1600X did 4 gigahertz, and then looking back, I wish I kept it. That's cool, man. So Instagram is where Maestro. Instagram is where I have more of my following, and I'm starting to branch out into Twitch and YouTube. Um, I'm just trying to show you guys like what goes on in my day to day. I have a few more builds coming in. I have an i9 build. That one, that one's gonna be real crazy. I want to stream it, but I'm gonna be doing some learning on that one because I gotta do a dual power supply setup. There, is it raining in California? So the build I gotta do. So you know these small ones I'm doing. We're gonna do a 7920X in those, the 12 core. Um, we're gonna do the dual power supplies. I think it's gonna get a 1080 Ti. We're gonna have to do a 240 millimeter radiator at the bottom, and maybe if I can, I'll squeeze a 120 in the front. I'm not sure yet. But with the 240, the D-lid, I think I'll be able to get 4.4 out of it because on the 280 millimeter Thermaltake all-in-one, 4.6 gigahertz. So I think 4.4 on the 240 will be nice. Oh man, for some reason I thought you were in California. So okay. Yeah, so and the reason I can't go 280 in the front because let me see if I can show you guys. I'm gonna plug this back in and let it run just to kind of make sure there's no leaks. Might as well be a little productive on that end of it. Make sure this turns on. Yep, it's on. So I'll just show you with this empty one. Let's see what camera is gonna be best. We'll go with this view. So here's the front, here's the back, top. We're gonna have one SFX power supply here, and then the other one's in the front. So I'm losing out on most of the front. I could do, I think, a 120, but I need to make sure they don't intersect because the thing I think is if I do the 120, I won't be able to put a fan on it. I don't know if I could get a 15 millimeter fan to fit. 15 millimeter thick. So actually, man, the 7900X is hotter than the 7920X. It blows my mind, but the D-lidded 7900X is barely cooler than the stock 7920, both at like 4.4. And the reason why I think is because the 7900X is on the smaller die, and the 7920X, the die is the same. Yeah, the HCC, the high core count die. So you have a lot of unused space that's not creating any heat, and it's actually just helping get rid of the heat. Yeah, that's the only thing. If I could get the 15 and a radiator to fit, that would be something I might try. But in all honesty, I think I'm going to be good with the 240. That case, it's made by Sliger, SLIGER.com. Check out their page. Really cool people. They make them. They manufacture them in Nevada, Reno, Nevada. So they're made in the U.S. Because of that, they carry the high price tag, but the quality is worth it. It's aluminum panels with a steel chassis, but honestly, for the size, you can't ask for more. You could fit, you know, technically, you could do a 280 in the front and like a 240 at the bottom. But then we just need to make sure there's no intersecting points. Yeah, that chassis is very highly configurable. Audio I/O cover is in the way. Audio I/O cover. But that's kind of like, I don't know. So the 7920X seems to be that magic sweet spot, just the density and everything. We've done the 7900X in there, and it's like 4.5 is a stretch. When you start getting to 4.5, you get VRM throttling, because we're at 1.2 volts. That's why we're switching to dual SFX power supplies, so we could top mount a thin 120, so the VRMs will get good airflow, and then we could push for 4.4, 4.5 on the 7920X. Audio PCB cover is in the way. What about it though? Yeah, man, there's not much going on right now. I kind of accomplished what I needed to. I'm gonna really just focus on all of this tomorrow. But thanks for stopping by, dude. Hey, Josh, I'm gonna end the stream and I'll catch you on Instagram. The screw doesn't sit on the board like normal. No, well, the dark, well, all the mounting screws are just PCB. You don't have to go through any plastic if that's what you're asking for. But I'll catch you on Instagram. I think I'll end the stream. This was a short one. At this point, I'm probably gonna call it a night and just clean up and have a fresh start tomorrow. But thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya, bye.